Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah Olson and I live in Minnesota with my husband and our 3 young children, and I'm also pregnant with our 4th. I'm a stay-at-home mom and we homeschool, and I love sharing about all of that, all of what makes up my everyday life. So homeschooling and homemaking and motherhood especially. Today's video is a fun one. I'm sharing my September 2025, or I guess early fall, late summer 2025 favorites. And I know it feels like I just shared a video like this. I actually went back on my YouTube channel and I was looking when I most recently shared a favorites video, but I have a lot of new favorites and I enjoy sharing things that are tried and true, and transitioning especially out of all of those favorites from maybe early to midsummer into what I've been really loving this season of the year, like early fall, is bringing a lot of new items that I wanted to share with you. And I hope this video is helpful or enjoyable, or at least interesting for you to see what we've been loving recently, what I've been loving recently. All right, the first item on my favorites list is this beautiful thrifted mug. I shared about this, I think, in my thrift store and garage sale haul this summer, and I absolutely love this mug. It has the most beautiful blue glazed flowers and the handle is brown. I just love it. It's one of those items that makes a big difference. You know how little things can make a big difference in your everyday routine? This is one of those things for me, and I think we all ought to have something like that in our life. The next favorite is something I'll just kind of describe for you, and then I'll link an example down below in the description box. I have been loving lately finding YouTube playlists, or like a specific YouTube video, I guess, of vintage or retro music, and they often create, these channels create music that sounds like the music is being played in another room. So it's a little more muted, it sounds like it's on a record player like what we have up here, and that it's playing in another room. And so a lot of these are like vintage, cozy fall music at grandma's cottage playing in another room. You can search for something like that on YouTube, and again, I'll link an example down below. I just love these kinds of videos, or songs, so much because I can put it on my Bluetooth speaker and in another room, or just like in the room, and it still sounds very muted because it's designed to be as if a phonograph or whatever, or a record player is playing in another room. It's often music from something like the 1940s. They have like cute breakfast music, or a morning playlist that's from the 1930s or 1940s, maybe 1950s, but I really like the peaceful fall music that sounds like it's playing in another room for maybe like a cozy autumn evening. Anyway, I think it's a really cute concept, and I've heard this kind of thing before. I actually, last Christmas season, like last December, I would listen to vintage Christmas music playing in another room, that kind of thing, but it was Christmas music, and I really am enjoying the autumn or fall kind of music. So wanted to mention that. That's been a big favorite for me these days when I don't want a podcast on, I don't want extra noise or information coming at me, but I just want a little bit of peaceful music. This next favorite is something I've actually shared about in a past favorites video, and it's still such a favorite, and I keep thinking about, man, I just need to tell more people about these. So that's why I'm sharing it again. These are small dinner plates. They're not the size of a normal adult dinner plate, so maybe more of a luncheon plate or whatever, but these are Corelle brand, Corelle Vitrelle. And these Corelle plates are wonderful because they are divided. I'm not sure how well you can see the texture of it, but there are two, it's like divided in half, and then the 2/4 up here are divided as well, and it's perfect for kids' meals, kids anything, lunches, snacks, anything you desire. And I love that these Corelle plates are virtually unbreakable. They definitely can break if you throw them down really well, but they are also microwavable. And so it saves you that extra step of having to like reheat on a different plate and then scooping it onto your child's silicone or plastic plate if you don't want to reheat that in the microwave. I just really love these Corelle plates, and I feel like they're a really great find. I think I got mine from Walmart online, so I will link down below wherever I can find these for you because they are so handy. I think I own 4 of these, possibly 5, and I almost want to stock up on a couple more. It's just always nice to have a couple that are clean, but right now it's typically Sophie and Soren who are the only ones who eat off of this. Svea does still have like a little silicone and grippy plate for her high chair, so eventually I might pick up a couple more of these, but for now it's been the perfect amount, just having kind of twice as many plates as the number of kids you have, so you're always maybe one meal ahead just in case you didn't get all the dishes done. But I just wanted to recommend these divided Corelle plates. I think they work so beautifully. It's like one of those kitchen essentials that I never want to get rid of. All right, this next favorite is something I mentioned in my recent vlog. I had a cooking vlog where you just spent the day with me in the kitchen, and I did pause real quick to mention this. It's not like it was sponsored or anything, but I needed a drink and I was drinking from this. So this is a glass mason jar pitcher. It's actually glass, which I love, and it has an infuser insert. You can see that here, but you unscrew the top, which is plastic and very sturdy. It's very, you can carry a heavy pitcher using the plastic handle is what I mean. And you can put fruit like lemon slices or whatever you want inside it. You can also remove the insert if you just plain want a nice glass pitcher, which I have also done. We made some homemade Gatorade when the kids had soccer season this summer, and that was pretty fun. But it's got a really good snap lid here. You can kind of make the joint stay up and open. I don't ever drink directly out of this, but it pours wonderfully, and it's just very non-spillable. Leak proof, there you go. But anyway, it holds, I'm not really sure how many cups, but it holds a good amount of like juice or water, especially if you want to always have something like lemon water waiting for you in the refrigerator, so you can just walk over and pour that out. This is just a wonderful invention, and I found it on Amazon, so I wanted to mention that this time of year, and also I will link it below for you. This next one I probably should have just worn for this video, but it is a maternity shirt, and maybe I can still show you the sleeves and ruffles and stuff on it. This is a short sleeve maternity shirt. It's from Amazon, and it's got kind of the ruched sides here, so it's gathered on the sides for a little extra room and stretch in the front. I should have mentioned, did I mention I'm pregnant with our 4th baby? I am over, oh boy, 21 or 22 weeks by now, so I'm definitely wearing maternity shirts. Sometimes I just wear a larger shirt, but anyway, this has been a really nice thing to have in my closet. So it has ruffles for the sleeves, which you can kind of tell here how it's drapey on the sleeves, and like I said, it's a short sleeve shirt, but it actually, I love how near the armpit area you can kind of see it is still up high for the armpit, so it's got that flowy look to it, as if the sleeves do go down farther with a little extra ruffle, but it's not a big gaping hole for your armpit, and I don't like that. So anyway, it's nice and snug still, but it's definitely flattering in the sleeves area. It comes in a lot of different colors. I have it in light gray, and then in this, I guess, maroon or mauve kind of color. This next favorite is something I've been really enjoying for quite some time now. Let me see here, since it's a type of journal. I've been enjoying it since mid-August, and so I've been using it over a month. This is an ESV translation Bible, but it is just the book of Psalms, and it is a journal. And it's wonderful, high quality, like paper and binding. It has the actual ESV Bible on the left side here of every page. We'll see how well this shows up for you. On the left side of every single page, see, is the scripture passages. So it's literally the entire book of Psalms, because that's the one I bought. And then the right side is just lined paper, which might not show up as well for you. But anyway, it is a wonderful way to read the Bible and then have room for notes. I know a lot of people have a journaling Bible or a Bible that has that note-taking room. I have over on the other side of the record player here, my big ESV study Bible, and I don't think that one, yeah, that one doesn't have room for notes on the sides. And so I found myself wanting to go through an entire book of the Bible and just have room to kind of take notes. So I've got my little dates and what I've been learning and reflecting on as I've been going through the book of Psalms for the past over a month now. And it's just been wonderful to get up in the morning and read that. And I love that they have other books of the Bible too. I'm actually really excited to purchase another book of the Bible in the future, but for now I really am glad that I was somehow led to go through the book of Psalms. It's been very applicable and very reassuring and just encouraging to go through. So anyway, I feel like it would be a great gift idea because it is so high quality and it is perfect for a lot of people, because I don't usually consider myself a big journaler. I don't sit down and get all my thoughts out onto paper unless you count like blogging in the past. And this has just been a really good way to force myself to slow down, not read the Bible passages so fast, and reflect on them. So I absolutely love this, and it is a big favorite of mine right now. This next favorite is called Azuna. Here's the word. Oh, you probably can't see it. It's like a nice textured glass container here. Azuna is something that probably got me on Instagram ads or something like that. It smells so good now that I'm right next to it. I will have to link down below the exact scent I got. This is basically a house air freshener, and I have, I think, 3 of the little tubs, glass canisters of it, and it is a white gel that you actually get a refill pouch of, and you can pour the gel in. I don't want to really dump it, although I don't think it will come out. It's a very thick gel, almost like an ointment looking thing, and it has and uses tea tree oil, I believe. So that is like the main thing it uses to get rid of any odors or smells that are bugging you in your home, but then they have actual scents that you can pick from. I think the scent I chose has bergamot in it. Can't remember what else it has, but I absolutely love it. It's stronger at first, of course, when you know, put the gel stuff in, and then I have it set aside like way up here hiding. Also one in the downstairs bathroom and one hiding in the kitchen. It's, I think, because during pregnancy my nose gets so sensitive to smells. I feel like I can smell all sorts of things, and something about, I don't know, all the cooking I was doing was just kind of bugging me. Maybe if the house smelled too much like onions or something for a while, or from a crock pot meal. I just wanted a way to freshen it up, and this has been really nice. I haven't noticed, like ever since I got this and got them going, I haven't noticed anything that really bugged me. And I also have sometimes noticed, as it kind of gets activated maybe a little, if I move it around or something, maybe refill it a little bit, I have noticed a really pleasant scent from it. So these Azuna scents, I don't know how to describe it. They have been really great. And I think there is something about them that is a more natural fragrance, which is why I went forward with buying them. I don't really have like the synthetic scents going all day. Like I don't have Glade plugins and stuff in my house, and like Febreze spray. I don't have that kind of stuff. So this felt like a nice compromise for me and got the house smelling nice and fresh. So wanted to mention that in this month's or this season's favorites video. My next favorite is a lip gloss. Actually, it's called a tinted lip oil from Merit. I do have several makeup products I use from Merit. My blush is from Merit. There's something else. Oh, of course, my minimalist. It's like a concealer slash foundation stick. You don't need very much, and it covers up things really well, and it blends in really nicely with their brush. So I just have a couple items because they do keep things really minimal in terms of makeup. But I wanted a new lip color, and I used to use Beauty Counter. I looked around on Merit's website. I settled on the color Pink Beat. I don't know how well it's gonna show up. It's actually a pretty cool toned pink, and because I have kind of neutral to cool undertones. I'm a soft summer, which is like my color season for picking clothing. But anyway, I wanted to pick makeup that would be flattering for me as a soft summer, and this like cool toned pink, so it's called Pink Beat, like I said. It is really great. I'm wearing it right now. It might have worn off a little bit with like talking and I don't know, doing stuff with the kids. I don't wear it usually at home all day. It's usually when I'm, I guess, doing a video, but also going out and about or to church or running errands or something. And it has a little applicator stick. I don't know what I don't know about a lot about makeup, but anyway, it goes on really nicely. It's not too sticky. It's not way too permanent, but it works, it does the job, and I think it's a really pretty color, high quality, and I've been really loving it this past month or two by now. This next favorite might be one for you homeschool moms out there. I have been loving these Sharpie brush tip markers. So they're actually double-sided. The one side is just a fine thin tip Sharpie pen basically, and then this side is a very like bendy tip. It's hard to demonstrate on a video, but it's a brush tip pen, so almost like a paintbrush, how that would bend slightly. And I have found it works really well for writing things like spelling words on sentence strips. This was using my blue and red brush tip Sharpies, and so I have a whole little, I have them in a bag somewhere, but I just grabbed this purple one to show you. I have loved them for things where I really want to write nice thick bold letters, and I actually bought these by accident. I thought I was buying just a thick tipped Sharpie marker, and then I was disappointed when they came in the mail, and then I decided to try them out, and I was pleasantly very surprised. I feel like they help my handwriting be neat for things like this. So I have been loving these brush tip Sharpies lately. I feel like they're a good thing to have in your home office, especially if you're writing little signs or things for homeschool. This next one is a huge favorite of ours, and when I say ours, I mean the 3 kids and myself included, because this is my favorites video, but I do include some stuff that the kids and I have been loving together. And it is a bedtime stories book. It's by Jim Aylesworth, A-Y-L-E-S, Aylesworth. And it's his book of bedtime stories that has 4 bedtime stories in it. It came highly recommended in the book Honey for a Child's Heart. I had never heard of it before. Well, I vaguely thought I might have heard of his last name before, but I gave it a try. I ordered this book, and it has easily moved to the top of our bedtime stories collection list, and Svea especially adores a certain story in this book. I actually think it's my favorite story too, but I'll just explain the 4 stories real quick so you can kind of see what's inside the book. The first story, I feel like I'm always wanting to share books like this because I used to be an elementary teacher. The first story, and I promise you I won't read the whole thing, it's a very cute mirrored or parallel story, if that makes sense. Basically, there are 2 characters. One is a mouse and one is like a human little girl. And the little mouse wants to go get a snack in the kitchen of this farmhouse, so she goes upstairs from the basement where the mice live. The little girl wants a snack, so she goes downstairs from where she sleeps, and they come across each other in the kitchen. They give each other a fright. That's why the story is called 2 Terrible Frights. And both of their mothers reassure them that they probably scared the other little girl, like little girl mouse or little girl human, more than they were scared themselves. And then the 2 girls, the little mouse and the little girl, fall asleep and dream about being friends. It's really darling. I love that one, but I think my favorite story in here is the second story, which is called Teddy Bear Tears. Teddy Bear Tears is about 4 little bears that belong to a young boy, and basically the bears all start sniffling one at a time when the lights go off and when the little boy goes to bed at night, and he takes turns reassuring each bear about maybe there's nothing under the bed, there's nothing in the closet, and you don't need to be scared about what's outside the window, and he shows his little stuffed animals what there is not to be afraid about. And I love it so much. Svea loves it. So Svea is our 2.5-year-old. She adores this book, and it's made her want to cuddle up with her teddy bear extra and comfort her teddy bear, because at the end of each little interaction with his bears, the bear asks to cuddle up extra close to the boy, and he says of course. So it's a really sweet story about, of course, learning not to be scared at nighttime, and it's so cute when kids have to reassure their stuffed animals of things. The third story in here is a funny one. It's called The Completed Hickory Dickory Dock. It has a different style of illustration a little bit. It's kind of more cartoony, and it's just the rhyming Hickory Dickory Dock poem, but it's extra long, and it's all the silly things that the mouse does when the clock strikes 10 or the clock strikes 9, stuff like that. So that's a cute one too. The kids, Sophie and Soren, really like to try to chant that one. And then the 4th story in this treasury is called The Goodnight Kiss, and I really love this one too, actually. It's got beautiful like watercolor illustrations, and it talks about one creature in nature noticing far away another creature, or noticing a man getting out of a tractor and that man notices a truck driver, and it kind of leads you all the way across town, all the way until you get to a house where a mother is kissing her child goodnight. And so I really like how it just kind of shows the connections of different creatures and different people noticing each other, and we're all kind of intertwined in a story as we all go about our days. But anyway, this Jim Aylesworth's Book of Bedtime Stories is such a good book that I think you should add it to your family's collection if you haven't already heard of it, or if you don't already own it. It is just so sweet. I am just such a fan of it. So thanks for listening to the plot summaries of these 4 stories. I just really recommend that book. The next favorite is a really simple one. It's just an easy lunch that we've been enjoying lately when we've gone to the fair, gone on outings or field trips, or been on the go for whatever reason for lunch. I have loved doing whole wheat deli meat wraps. So it just involves a whole wheat tortilla. I spread that with some mayo, and I put Dijon mustard, just a couple drops on that, and I spread that around because it makes it more interesting. Even for the kids, they don't mind it when I do just a little bit of the mustard. And then I add some nice deli meat and some sliced cheese. Then we try to use tomatoes, like even cherry tomatoes from our garden that I cut up, and a little bit of spinach or lettuce. And I think that's about it. Then I just roll it up, cut it in half, and put it in a sandwich or Ziploc bags. It works really well for us when we need a lunch on the go, and it's always so welcome and so delicious. So we haven't gotten sick of that lunch idea yet, so I wanted to bring that up for this favorites video too. My next favorite is something I did actually. It's a little DIY I did for our downstairs bathroom. I wanted us to have more privacy. I love the natural light that comes in that room, but we've always had our blinds closed. They're like light filtering blinds, so they're not totally blackout. I knew there was wonderful natural light, but of course you need privacy in the bathroom. And so I hopped on Amazon, and after looking around at a bunch of options, I finally settled on a certain, like a vinyl, I wish I remembered what it's called. It's a vinyl stick-on basically for your window. It's kind of like a very thick plastic wrap and it's something you measure and just cut with a little razor around the sides, and there's a special way, actually using like wet soapy water, that you stick it onto your window, and Soren helped me. We got it on there, and now we can have the blinds open in the bathroom. Not so much at night, I don't do that, but I love that it brings all this natural light in. You don't have to worry as much about privacy, and it gives the bathroom a really nice old-fashioned look. It's already got a farmhouse design, kind of with the decor choices that the family we bought this house from had made, and so I wanted to kind of run with that, at least in the bathroom. And I just love the natural light coming in, so that was an easy, like 1 hour maybe DIY project, and it turned out really well. Of course, it's not a perfect job. I didn't do an amazing, like exact job cutting around the edges for the window, but it looks really nice, like at a glance, and even when you look pretty close, it's a really nice DIY project. So that was a lot of fun. All right, this next favorite is such a good book. This is called Honey for a Child's Heart. I saw my friend Ellie Hurst recommend it. I had heard it recommended a lot before, and then she was really getting into it, and I thought, I really need to try this book. I decided to order this book, and it has been so worth it. It does, I will warn you, lead to you wanting to order more books. So it's like the book that makes you buy more books. So that's the only warning I would have. I don't think it's really a bad warning. But Honey for a Child's Heart is basically a book of book lists that Gladys Hunt has compiled for you. And she has a brief little description, or maybe even a synopsis of each book or most of the books in her list. I will say the first half of this book is talking about like the importance of reading aloud and what makes a good book, and kind of selecting a good book, why you should read aloud to your kids, stuff like that, which I still feel is valuable. I will be perfectly honest, I turned to the latter half of the book when I got this because I was very interested in the detailed collections or lists of books here in the back. She's got it categorized by like favorite picture book classics for ages 4 to 8, a whole other second chapter about more picture books for ages 4 to 8, then classic children's novels, ages 9 to 12. She's just got so many in here in special ways. She kind of ranks them and tells you which book to start with first from which author. But it has been a wonderful resource. This is a book I would totally recommend to any homeschool mom starting out, any parent truly who loves reading with your children, or reading aloud, or even like a grandparent if you are really into buying books for your grandkids or, you know, for people in your life. Then I would really recommend a book like this that gives you kind of a wonderful starting point to springboard off of when you are trying to figure out who's a good author. You know, in this day and age, it's hard to kind of select books at maybe the library or the bookstore. This is such a good starting point. And like Ellie Hurst had mentioned, she starts to get the author's names in her head when she's studied this book enough. And then when you're thrifting or at a garage sale, you're like, oh, that author was supposed to be really good. And so then you just know to grab that book quickly. So this has been a wonderful book to have on hand. Such a great resource, like I said, for basically any parent. Next, I wanted to share my new cutting board, which I know isn't totally riveting, but for those of you who like to cook and bake like I do, hopefully this would be interesting or helpful for you. I have been looking to steer away from my plastic cutting boards. The more I thought about it, I actually, kind of before everyone started talking about microplastics, I feel like in the past few months or whatever, or maybe it's just like ads I'm getting, I feel like everyone's talking about microplastics. It had actually been like a year ago in the back of my mind that maybe it's not great that I'm cutting everything on these plastic cutting boards, because I'm just seeing how worn and kind of pilly, almost like a sweater, that those plastic cutting boards can get. So I wanted to find a stainless steel or glass type of cutting board, and I settled on stainless steel. I actually bought a different brand and it had like kind of sharp edges and it slid around and I didn't like it. So I tried out this one because I don't actually cut like raw meat on cutting boards, so I'm not as worried about the silicone here on the edges getting contaminated. It's mostly fruits and veggies for me, and maybe bread. So anyway, I got this one that has a grippy edge. It has a floppy, you know, silicone handle, which is also great. So it sticks to the counter pretty well, doesn't slide around. I would love for it to be even bigger, but I have two of these and they have been awesome. This next item is some pregnancy tea, I guess you could call it. This one's actually called Sleep Tea. It's by the brand Pink Stork, and it's sleep tea with lavender and oat straw, and it actually has, let's see here, coconut flavor and vanilla flavor in it. So if you kind of like the coconutty vanilla types of flavors, this is a really nice one. I actually drink it in the morning. It's called sleep tea, but I don't think it really matters. I like to get up early in the morning whenever I can, and I've gotten back into that habit, and tea has been a fun ritual as part of those earlier mornings. So this has been a delicious one and great for during pregnancy. Okay, this next one won't surprise you if you've been following me on Instagram. I feel like I often share what I'm baking. I have been loving making sourdough bagels lately. These are everything bagels, and these are plain bagels, and they're just from the same batch. I just sprinkle everything seasoning on about half of them because Soren, my son, really loves plain bagels, and Svea does too. But then Sophie and I like the everything bagels, so I try to do half and half. I love this specific recipe from a farmhouse on Boone, and I will link that recipe down below for you. I will mention a couple tweaks that I make to the recipe. First of all, this isn't really a tweak, but I always double it because it makes 8 bagels and I want 16. So we go with the 16 bagels for that one. These days I am finding the most success in especially my sourdough baking recipes by using Bob's Red Mill flour. I use it's the brand. I use the organic all-purpose flour, and it seems to make things turn out so well. I love it so much. So I do use that Bob's Red Mill organic flour, and then I use pink Himalayan salt in my recipe as well. I make sure my sourdough starter has been fed, you know, way earlier in the day, or maybe even the night before, and I make sure it's quite thick and very bubbly, and that seems to work really well. And then I have found with this bagel recipe, if you kind of over ferment it, maybe not over, I guess that means it gets too sloppy, but if I ferment it extra long, like when it's the bagel dough in the bowl and I kind of go whoops and I forget about it for a few extra hours even, that has helped. And then I even let the bagels rise a little bit extra, like an extra hour or two after I have cut and shaped them into 16 bagels. And also the recipe does say to bake them for 20 to 25 minutes. I bake them for exactly 18. And I've made these so much that I kind of have it down to a science now. That's what works well for our kitchen, for my sourdough starter, and for my oven. So I wanted to mention that just in case you wanted to give that a try and try some of my tweaks with that recipe. It's not really a big tweak, it's just like my specific ways of doing it. And they have turned out so well. And like I said, I put everything bagel seasoning on about half of them. So 8 of the bagels, after they've been boiled, I sprinkle that on so the seasoning sticks quite well. Those have been so delicious. They are so good. So much better than store-bought, I have to say. And they are wonderful toasted with cream cheese. So if you are looking for a sourdough recipe to make this week, definitely give those bagels a try. My next favorite is something I never thought I would end up mentioning in a favorites video, and that is a workout program or a workout app. I have not historically been a big exerciser. I've loved doing dance classes in the past, like Irish dance we did, Sophie and I did for a couple or a few years at least. And I absolutely love and do well with external motivation when it comes to working out and getting myself moving. And I just wanted some extra strength, and like I've been having some pelvic pain, so like extra stability, I guess, with this pregnancy. I thought, why not start now? I started after the first trimester, so some time ago, and I have been really enjoying the workouts from Chelsea Method. And that one is, I believe it's developed by a pelvic floor therapist, and she must also, I think, be a personal trainer. And these are really quick workouts. So this is nothing really intense, but it's really great for someone like me who hasn't had a history of working out really well, and I'm not about to jump into a 40-minute intense workout with weights and everything. So when I get up early in the mornings, I just hop onto, it's the Telegram app that sends me my workout for the day. These workouts are 5 to 10 minutes long. And she always combats that question of, would 5 minutes even do anything? And I personally think it has been working well for me. It's taught me a lot about, you know, even breath work and stability and posture and stuff. But then there are actual like cardio workouts, lower body, upper body, full body, and then like stretching workouts. And you can select little challenges and which ones you want to do. If you're done with a 5-minute workout, you can add on another 5 or 10-minute workout after your workout is done. The app lets you kind of select what you want to do next. And it's been wonderful. I got some kind of a deal, like I signed up for it when it was on sale, so it was like $7.99 a month, and I think it just ups to slightly more than that. So that has been something I've been able to do consistently for quite some time now. Not super long, but enough where I felt like I could share about it. So those Chelsea Method workouts have been really great. And I also wanted to mention they have specific, like when you put your due date in for pregnancy, they have specific workouts to do every day that they send you that are totally appropriate and safe. And that's been something I've always kind of wondered in pregnancy when I've wanted to work out, what is safe for me to do? And she's got it all figured out for you. So those have been really great. This next favorite is our little star jars. And these are flat looking, so it looks like a jar, but they are flat and they have magnets on the back so they stick to your refrigerator or something. And this one says Sophie. And it comes as a set with the little jar and then also some wooden stars. And the wooden stars slide right in, even though it's so thin. They slide right in the side. They're also a pretty flat and thin wooden star. So it's easy for kids to put in, easy for you to dump out as well. And I have been using these star jars as a behavior reinforcement or reward system. Try to be more positive reinforcement. Stars can be taken away in our family, but they also get added in whenever I see someone being extra thoughtful or helpful. This has been a helpful system for us. I don't think it's something that I'm going to keep forever and ever, but it is working well for us in this season and has been for several months now. I wanted something that would be just a little extra boost for us behavior wise, especially with my husband being deployed right now. I am the sole authority who's in person with the kids, and this helps me to reinforce a lot of good things about having positive behavior and desired behavior in this family. And I also have a box full of cute prizes like trinkets and fun stuff from Hobby Lobby that I keep in the basement, and the kids know that when their star jar gets full all the way to the top, they get to pick a prize, and then we will dump it all out and start over again. So that has been wonderful for all 3 kids, and we have 3 of these on our fridge right now. So if you're looking for a nice, pretty sustainable system, these star jars from Amazon, which I'll link down below, have been really helpful for us. This next favorite is kids pajamas. They make adult ones too, but kids pajamas from the American Farm Company. And the American Farm Company has some awesome bamboo pajamas, like part spandex, but mostly like 95% bamboo. They are so soft, and I got the girls these sage green ones so they can match, and they have little chickens all over them because, as you probably know, we love our chickens. And then for Soren, I got him some cow camo pajamas. And Soren loves camo, especially since my husband is in the Army, and also he loves cows. Soren has always loved cows, and so I thought it was so cute that they made cow camo pajamas. These are so soft, like I said, and the kids feel so snuggly, and they look so cute in them. So I wanted to bring these up in this fall favorites video because they're perfect as we're transitioning into fall and winter. This next favorite is another children's book. This is the last children's book in today's favorites video. It is called Too Many Pumpkins, and if you're looking for a good fall book for your family, definitely check out Too Many Pumpkins by Linda White. This is my son's all-time favorite, maybe favorite book, but favorite fall book for sure, and it's probably my favorite fall book. It is so good. It's such a sweet story about a woman who does not like pumpkins at all, but then a bunch of pumpkins get dropped off, dumped into her yard, and they start growing and growing, and to get rid of them, she bakes a bunch of pumpkin goods and shares them with her neighbors and friends, and it is so sweet. And just the way it's written is just darling. But this is a really good one, of course, for this time of year. I should also mention I have this book and lots of other books in our fall favorite picture books video, and the collection, it has remained largely the same. So I have a lot of the same books. I don't really think I've added much at all to our fall collection that I shared a long time ago. So I will link that video down below too, in case you want even more fall book recommendations. But this one I definitely had to bring up anyway, just for today's video, because Soren's been loving having it out lately. My final favorite I wanted to share in this video is one of Svea's school books, we call them. Now, Svea is not officially being homeschooled, I guess, but she has been begging and begging to do more stuff during school, which is so funny because that started right after I filmed and published my video on what my toddler does during homeschool. She still loves all of those activities, so don't get me wrong, she loves all of those, but she has been wanting lately to sit at the kitchen table and do my schoolwork, she says. So of course I'm gonna let her do stuff like that. And this is a Kumon, if that's how you pronounce it, Kumon workbook. They have really, really great workbooks. It's for ages 2, 3, and 4, so whatever you determine is appropriate for your own child. But it has such sweet coloring pages. I've kind of ripped them out, not in the neatest way, but I'll show you this one. So this is the 25th page actually that she's done. She's really flying through these, and it's a pretty inexpensive workbook, so super fun for her. They actually start out more simply than this, but it's usually a picture where your child has to finish the drawing. There's just a little bit missing from the color scheme of the picture. This one says that you need an orange crayon and a black crayon for the tiger, and then they always give you the example at the top of how you want your tiger to look, and your child can just kind of scribble or color to the best of their ability in those white patches on the picture. So she's done like a kite, a police car, spaghetti sauce, all sorts of cute things back when it said just to pick one color. So these Kumon workbooks are really, really cute. Here's an ice cream one. Then I should also mention they have like this mini maze idea on the back of every single coloring page, and it's pretty much drawing a line from a dot down to a star. and you have to weave around or weave between things. And Svea has really surprised me by, it probably shouldn't be a surprise because she's such a particular little worker, but she was able to weave around the different objects from the dot to the star, and she was so proud of herself. So she does flip her coloring page over when she's done with it, and she'll take a pencil or a crayon and work through that little mini maze, and it's just really rewarding, and it's a great thing to add on to maybe what your toddler likes to do during the mornings or just for fun. That's it for today's video. Thank you for being here and for watching. I hope it was fun for you to see and hear about some of my recent favorites as we launch into fall 2025. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel because there is always more content coming surrounding those topics of homemaking, motherhood, and homeschooling. And I would love to have you stick around. I'm always so humbled when I see how many people have chosen to stick around, and especially those of you who take the time to comment. It means a lot, and I'm glad you're here. So with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're at, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.
Yesterday there was sun in